Over the course of time, I have observed the fan base of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I have witnessed it thrive and shift amongst the years I have partaken within it. The evolution of something so very unexpected as the concept of bronies, defying what modern civilization clings to so tightly as traditional gender roles, is both inspiring and gratifying in its world of strangeness. Yet within this collective, there is one sector that piques interest regarding both the show and the fandom itself, regarded as the MLP analysis community, or analysis as many call. It is a collective of individuals that attempt to evaluate and analyze both Friendship is Magic and everything surrounding it. This group within the MLP community, however strange in its existence, has spawned massive amounts of attention, as well as content creators intent on joining and thinking in the same manner. It has grown so big, in fact, that there are multiple online communities dedicated for these individuals to discuss their ideas concerning this show. All of this being adopted so fast and widespread over the course of such a short time, as well as becoming so large and accepted, seems to emulate almost a miniature revolution of thought and theory, which would raise an interesting question. Could the analysis community be compared to one of the most influential philosophical revolutions in history, namely the one of Socrates, in terms of background and inherent nature? The history of the analysis community is not one that would go back relatively far. The, quote, art of thoughtful critique was first, or most notably, initiated by the likes of Paleosteno and Goldenfox. The two gave their perspectives on the show itself via video content reviews, but reviews and critique are naturally a form of content creation found in literally anything, so it was quite obviously not to be considered the thematic dawn of analysis. It was popular, yet almost standard for any form of media. Even once Tommy Oliver began placing his thoughts in video content, however insightful those thoughts had been, even as it gathered a small audience, analytical breakdown of Friendship is Magic was not exactly something that was, quote, coined. That is, until Digibrony entered the fray. Digi was, for all intents and purposes, the one to begin the trend of analysis videos, as his videos not only conveyed his perspective, yet were detailed and in-depth enough to encourage others to think and make their own points. Every aspect of his many videos concerning the show was one that accentuated his core argument and began to define a new genre of media within the fandom. His editing and video formatting were clean and informative, using clips and images to visually strengthen his arguments. He did not just state his thoughts. Digibrony asked questions and answered them, making arguments to answer those questions, understanding core themes and ideas of the show. That is what truly defines analysis, that being to evaluate, to ask why something exists the way in which it does. Questions encourage curiosity and answers, arguments to bolster a claim, and evidence to further give it strength. To be curious about the world and go as far as you are able to answer your own questions is the essence of analysis. Digibrony exemplified such a concept in every video he produced, and subsequently influenced others to discuss with him and think as he did. This itself can be compared to the impact that the Athenian philosopher known as Socrates had on what is now known as Western civilization, in that he influenced a new generation of philosophy at a time in which people only began to think in a singular context. In his time period of the 400s BCE, Socrates was a general novelty of deep thought, as the manner in which he debated with other philosophers was quite unique. Socrates did not engage in common back-and-forth discussions, but rather gave propositions to others and logically deconstructed their arguments with logical examples. For instance, if he were to ask what it is to have the virtue of kindness, and someone suggests that it is to always give to others who are weak, he would insinuate with, should the kind not give to the strong in times of need, according to your argument? If one would retaliate with the notion that the kind should give to all in times of need, Socrates would return with, then must the kind give to those who are evil if they are injured? The way upon which Socrates attempted to debate was one that sought for others to define what is good and true by presenting to them their arguments in all the contexts they would apply in, and in doing so, both himself and his subject partner began to attain more knowledge concerning everything around them. This itself would attest to his experience and wisdom as he assists in others' learning via contextualization, yet Socrates did not refer to himself as an educator of any kind. This is largely attributed to the fact that, at the time, educators were known to only be pitchers that pour their vast knowledge and wisdom into the empty cups that are their pupils. As Socrates' method was to question and learn alongside others via intellectual discussion, he dismissed any notion or suggestion that would label him as an educator. He was not one to know anything, but rather to question. To be an individual who truly only acts in service of their craft is the mark of a truly great figure, and in the context of philosophy, he was not only great, but revolutionary. Digibroni and Socrates are admittedly not individuals to share all too many similarities. Comparing an internet media journalist conducting critical analysis of cartoon horses to a world-renowned ancient philosopher is nothing short of extreme. Yet the two, as a result of their attempt at garnering an audience and generating discussion, had a similar effect on their respective communities, Digibroni being the Brony fandom, and Socrates being the entirety of Western civilization. The two both, intentionally or no, purely by expressing their own mentalities, encourage others to do the same and think differently, thus sparking a wholesome intellectual surge within their specific context. As Digibroni inspired the likes of Ken Goes Pony, Past Analysis, Tommy Oliver, ANY Entertainment, and countless others to share their thoughts and ideas with one another, the Athenian philosopher transformed the fate of how we think. The two may perhaps not carry similar values, but they thought in similar manners, which is what allowed them to reach and inspire as many individuals as they were able. As a result, the collective of analysts has grown so fast and so large that the amount of people involved is astounding. So many have adopted the methods of creating an effective persuasive video, as many have adopted the Socratic method. The collective of Western civilization and the analysis community differ in scale of relevance, but both exist as the products of an idea and a way of thought. Although there is one factor that can be utilized to argue that this subject cannot be compared to the likes of the Socratic revolution, that being the analysis collective's oversaturation of individuals who quite frankly do not enter with the best reason to make analytical content. In all honesty, much of this community has lost its luster. Most of the influential people in the community have lost their passion for their form of media content and left. Most of our collective primarily consists of individuals adopting the techniques utilized by many of the members of the community who accentuate their points particularly well, yet do not know why they serve in their benefit, and thus never utilize those techniques effectively. And as community continues to grow faster, with more individuals wanting to come in only to gather influence, get attention, or become popular, as some would put it. People are joining by the numbers because they see the success of those who make content that reaches a wide audience, and they believe that they can garner the same attention doing the same thing as those they observe without understanding what it is being done or even why. As such, as a result of them desiring an end with not even knowing or having passion for the means, they call what they do analysis, yet it's either just a synopsis and listing what they like and don't, or it's not analysis at all. This community may have been an exemplification of inspiring critical thinking skills, but it has been less of such as of late. If this community wants to be as large as it is, it needs people who are passionate and who genuinely have the desire to exercise critical thinking skills. The people who enjoy it and want to make their points as best they can will make this community great. Those who make videos like this out of love for thought and about what they enjoy make this community intellectual, and we have many of them who do. But in order to make this entire community great again, we need great people with great minds. We need analysis again.